What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another show. This is Broadstreet 444, man, the number one sports podcast in Philadelphia, man. We back for another episode, man. We gonna give y'all raw energy, man. Good sports talk. I'm gonna introduce my co-host. I'm gonna do that first. James Woodruff, what's going on? How you feeling tonight?
That to me. I'm sorry, I dropped that. Does it remind you of Nelson Aguilar? My bad. I'll catch the next one.
Catch the next one, please, and please get word out to Jordan Matthews too. He's killing me. I know he had the touchdown, but he's killing me. How you feel tonight, Wood?
I'm ready to get into this. I'm ready to get into this recap. That's for sure.
No doubt, no question. We got my man 2M's, Money Mike McClown. What's going on, Mike? How you feeling?
Man, I'm feeling great. I mean, just watching my team, the Sixers tonight. My Birds, they let me down, so we gotta dig deep into that. But that was a sad day, man.
Yeah, tough loss, man. All right, we got to mention we missing one of our panelists. JD couldn't make it, couldn't be here tonight, so we gonna keep it going 4 for 4. We ain't gonna miss a beat. We gonna keep doing what we do. My name Chris Colazzo, and collectively we make up Broadstreet 4 for 4. We want to remind everybody to follow us on Instagram, Facebook, iTunes, Podbean. That's a free app. Download it. Follow us, comment, like, suggest, and make suggestions, and follow Broadstreet 4 for 4, man, where we talk Philadelphia sports. What we going to talk about tonight, we're going to talk about that tough loss, that recap, the Eagles-Titans recap, man. We had a tough loss, man, and I know the city of Philadelphia, man, we all felt it, man. That was a tough loss, man. Of course, we're going to talk about some of our pick six, some of those things, keep y'all abreast what's going on, some of the leaders. We pick 6 NFL games, so we're going to do that. We also going to give our top 5 pass rushes of all time, man. So that's a good topic, man. We looking forward to that. So hopefully everybody enjoys that. And we also want to talk a little 76ers, man. The NBA season is approaching us. The preseason has officially started, and we're going to talk 76ers, man. A little bit of that, man. So hopefully everybody enjoys the show, man. And we're going to dive right into it, man. Tough loss. We went away, battled Tennessee. The Titans lost in overtime. Looked like we kind of had the game secured. Couldn't really get off the field. Money Mike, tell me what you think, man. How that game hit you, man? Give me your thoughts on the game, man.
Man, the Tennessee small wonder came up big. They showed up, man.
Right.
Played with the aggressiveness that we like to see the Eagles, what we were used to seeing from the Birds. They took risks, going forward on 4th down, going for the win. I guess when you're the champ, people going to give you your best shot. But you got to be able to absorb those and match the same effort. And I just think poor offensive line play, Carson on his back a lot, under duress. Our defensive line, the pressure was okay, but we didn't come up with the big sack late in the game. I don't know if it was the heat down there or whatever. And, penalties. The penalties kicked us in the butt. Our cornerbacks.
Yeah, 8 penalties for 77 yards.
77 yards, yeah.
So you're just not going to win games on the road in the NFL against a competitive team. They're not a great team, but they're a competitive team. They got some playmakers. And, went down there and took a L, Unfortunate, we played bad. I wouldn't just say they beat us. We played bad. So that's what we can have back.
Right. We're gonna come back to you, Money Mike. James Woodruff, Hollywood, man. Give me your thoughts. Give me your thoughts about the game, man.
Drop. 6 drops. Nelson Aguilar looking like 2016 Nelson Aguilar. Jordan Matthews, for a second, was giving me goosebumps when I saw him running for that touchdown, looking like Chris Carter out there. And, rocking that number 80 and everything. I was like, oh, look at Chris Carter. Look at him. Look at his Chris Carter from 1988. But then he showed me that he's Jordan Matthews from 2015. It's just a key drop that could have possibly extended the drive. We could see that momentum was starting to go in Tennessee's favor. I felt like the game. People could say the game was lost in overtime, and that can be an argument. But the fact that we couldn't convert after we had like 17 unanswered points, the fact that we couldn't kind of put our foot on their neck and like just put them out, and we just gave them life. When you got a wounded animal, man, you take them out. You don't sit there and give them opportunity to bite back, and they bit us hard. And so it was frustrating to see. I mean, we had more plays than them. We had 76 plays to their 68 plays. Even though they did have, the time of possession, they beat us just by like a minute or two more. But one of the stats that stand out to me is the pass to run ratio. We only ran 22 times compared to passing it. Carson Wentz threw 50 passes. 50 passes. How you gonna win a game when you throw like 50 passes? How you gonna put so much pressure on Carson Wentz, who just came back from a serious injury? He's 2 games back, and we're putting so much pressure on him to basically single-handedly win this game. You can't do that, man. And you know what frustrates me the most is that our running game was doing well. I can see if we were like the Titans running game, we shut that down. Definitely. But our running game, we were actually showing some production. Like Smallwood was doing all right. Ajayi with a broke back was doing all right. Clemens was doing well, considering. I don't understand why they got away from it. Like he gets in these moments where he starts to revert back to Andy Reid and try to like, let me just pass the ball. I just want to pass the ball. No, I run that ball, man. We were doing so effective, especially in overtime when we were driving down. When I thought we were going to score a touchdown. Yeah. We were like riding that J train. But as soon as we get into the red zone, for some reason, he wanted to start passing.
Definitely.
Made absolute no sense to me. But that's just the offensive side. Even the Ertz, man, I'm not even going to talk about Ertz's drop because he played so well for us. He had over 100 yards receiving. He was the main go-to receiver for Carson Wentz. We all knew that. He's like Romo's Witten, right? we all knew that. But it was nice to see him perform well. It was nice to see Alshon Jeffers perform well. I mean, he came back. It's almost like he didn't miss a beat. Like he was doing his thing. And then honestly, I'm not like the biggest Alshon Jeffries fan. Like I was really wanting Josh Gibson and all them to come in, and Dez Bryant. I was screaming their praises and wanting them to get him. And I was like, yeah, Alshon Jeffers all right, but he's coming off of an injury. How effective is he going to be? Boy, was I wrong. He came in with close to 90 yards receiving. He did a great job. I mean, and again, I'm gonna, when it comes to Alshon Jeffrey, I'm gonna shut up for real because I got mad respect for that dude, and he's done so much for us, during our championship year. And I'm not gonna try to downplay that by his injury and say like, well, he's a shadow of his former self. No, he did his thing. He came up big for us. But on the defensive side, our defensive backs minus Malcolm Jenkins. I know Jenkins is a safety, but the secondary all get Fs. All y'all get, for real. I'm so disgusted with Mills, and I wish Rome was here so Rome could talk about Mills because Rome's been digging in Mills' butt since like preseason. He's not a Mills fan, and I was always like, no, Rome, give him a chance. I think you're being a little too hard on the secondary. Man, I take it back, Rome. You was right. I was ready to give you all your props. I'm gonna give it to you right now, Rome. Mills deserves every bit of criticism that you give him because it's time for him to get benched.
Right. Hey, Wood and Mike, man. Penalties killed us, man. Y'all mentioned it early. 77 yards. Penalties killed us, man.
We only had 4 for 30.
Right. And our defense, it seemed like when we needed to stop, they couldn't stop us. We couldn't stop them. We couldn't get them off the field. I can't count how many 3rd and 19s or 3rd and 12s they had or 4th and 7s they had, particularly in overtime where we just couldn't get them off the field. And it seemed like we could have won the game in overtime, man, but we couldn't stop them, man. But overall, man, I think...
I know what you're talking about. It's weird, though, Mil. Chris, not to cut you off, man, but like 3rd down effectiveness, they were 5 for 16. We were 5 for 15. But their 4th down effectiveness, going 3 for 3, that's
Big,
They
big.
were the most impressive.
Big, definitely. And our running game, like you mentioned it, we had 117 yards, man. Ajayi had 70 yards, Smallwood 39. So we ran the ball effectively, man. You know what? Titans is a tough team, man. And it's funny, Mariota, man, they average 100 and I think 60 something yards per game passing, and he threw for over 300 yards against us, man. Our secondary played horrible, man. And let me ask this question: how much is on the players, and how much is on the coaching and the scheme? Do y'all think defensively, Mike? I ask you first, or whoever wants to jump in. Our secondary and our defense in general for the Titans game.
I think that coaching does play a part into it. Actually, Andy Reid, he referenced it today earlier when he spoke to the media about some of, he addressed the defense, and he said that a lot of those guys are left out there on islands, and there's an offensive-minded coach. If you're leaving your D-backs back there like that, you're going to attack that. And when you're not getting the pressure like we didn't, in the big moments, we didn't get that push up front like we usually do, and those guys were exposed. So he said he was going to address it as the head coach. We know how the Eagles operate with two, like our defensive coordinator has usually full range, but I think coach is going to get his hands a little.
Who referenced it, Mike? You said Reed. You talking about Peterson or?
Oh, Peterson.
Oh, okay.
Peterson addressed
the secondary.
Yeah, he addressed the secondary on media day earlier today.
Okay.
Spoke toward it very, condescendingly about him, and he was upset. And on the other side of the ball, since you're talking about coaching, I think we're really missing Dave
Frank Wright.
From Radnor, our Philly guy.
Okay.
I think we're really missing him as far as play calling. Doug struggling, like in that red zone. I'm pretty sure he would have ran the ball. I know it was by committee, and Doug had said he called the plays, but there was a lot more minds going into planning, game day situations on the sideline, and I think we're missing Keith Little. I think we're missing him back there. We're not looking the same.
Frank Reich as well.
And Frank Wright. Yeah, both of them left.
Right.
But he was the quarterback coach. Don Deefield, he's from he left the organization as well. He got a job, but he's from Radnor, he's from the area, and he's a great quarterback guy. He's the one who him, Frank Wright, and Peterson, they were all working with him.
All right, a lot of the season's been we've been talking about injuries and getting guys back and things like that. Yesterday we got guys back. Obviously Alshon came back. Ajayi was back in the lineup. Where do you,
100% though?
Yeah,
but it's like 80% is still good enough.
Right. We're still not 100%. Right at this point in the season, if we're a quarter through the season. 4 games into the season, we're 2-2. Do you guys feel worried, or how do you feel about that 2-2? What's your major concerns right now for the Philadelphia Eagles right now?
I don't feel worried because these are not division games. We have yet to play a divisional game, so
right.
I'm okay. But I do not like the fact that the Eagles are a shadow of their former selves. Like, I'm seeing things that they're not doing this year that they did do last year. For example, they're being effective in the red zone. They felt like last year when they would get in that 20-yard line, they're scoring a touchdown. And I'm not seeing that now. It's back to the old Eagles where before we won the championship, it was like, oh man, here we go. We're going to have trouble in the red zone now. Well, at least the Eagles are going to come out with 3 points. So I'm just starting to become that team that's like, you're almost surprised that they're going to score a touchdown. Like, oh yes, we scored a touchdown. Oh my gosh, thank goodness. But then it's like, oh, okay, here comes Jake Elliott. Mm-hmm. I'm just not seeing that same. What's the word? It leaves me. Just that same tenacity that they had last year. That's that killer mentality. I'm not seeing that. It's almost like maybe they feel like they're good. Maybe they feel like we the champs. We all right. We'll just coast. We'll be okay. We'll turn it on when we're ready. And maybe they have that mentality. And if they do, they might not even make the playoffs. So they're going to be in for a rude awakening if they have that mentality. So I'm hoping that they don't. I'm hoping I'm wrong because hey, I first admit I'm wrong a lot. You know, Javon, my wife was here. She tell you I'm wrong a lot of the times.
Do you think that's part of the problem? I hope not. I hope not. Do you think maybe?
You try to look at the team. We're hardcore fans, so when we're watching the team, we're not just watching what's transpiring on the field. We're trying to look into their psyche. We're trying to think about what coach is going to call, or what kind of scheme is going to be ran. We're thinking all that stuff. We're thinking next level on a different plane as far as for the different mental state. And I feel like the Eagles are. I feel like they're fat. They're good. You know, they feel like they're nice and comfortable. I feel like they feel like I feel like they're coasting, and they're not putting it in full gear like they did last year. And part of it is not their fault because of the end result of last year. Every single team is going to come in to try to take their head off.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying? They're like, oh, here come the champs. Let's put a smash on them. The majority of the fans that are in the stadium are not even here to see us, and we're the home team. But let's smack them in the mouth. You know?
Isn't it the coach's job to prepare the team for that, and the players
because that question you asked Mike, and he answered very well. When he said that it's more so coaching, I think it's a player. The player needs to execute. For example, that 4th and 15, where that defensive back almost was just like sleeping on, like resting on his laurels, so to speak. And then he looked over and said, "Oh, that guy's over there. Let me go run to him." And at that point, he already caught it for a 4th and 15 conversion. So I feel like you can't coach that. That's just a lack of execution. Like that guy, I feel like it was that player's fault. You know what I mean? But the argument could be had of like, well, you know, he wasn't prepared. He wasn't coached for that. I mean, I don't know. That can be the argument. I think that the coach lays out the game plan, but it's the player's responsibility to execute. And yeah. I don't think the Eagles, specifically the secondary, executed.
I think you're right.
Except Malcolm Jenkins.
I think that's a valid point for that one play, but the majority of the game, a lot of times he called zone, and we just don't. And that was his zone. And it was 4th and 15, but that was another example. Like his schematics at the same time, but that play definitely was on the player. That specific incident. Right. That's an isolated incident. But overall, the coaching has been poor on the defensive side. You know, it has been. And on the offensive side, it has been up to par. To me, I feel like, the players do have to execute, but they're not robots.
Yeah, no doubt. But speaking of execution, real quick, I just want to give props to Malcolm Jenkins. Malcolm Jenkins tried to single-handedly win that game for us. 7 tackles, 2 tackles for losses, and 1 pass deflection. I mean, that's a pretty good line for a safety. Getting 2 tackles for losses, he's a safety. So, I mean, I don't know. I just want to when I talk about how bad the secondary was, I just want to make sure that Malcolm Jenkins know that you are not included in my criticism.
Particularly on that last drive where Tennessee's driving down, he made a lot of plays. He made a lot of plays.
He tried to do it all by himself. I felt bad for the brother. I was like, well, somebody please help him. We miss McLeod. Well, unfortunately, we lost McLeod, and it's starting to become evident.
That's a big loss. It looked like we was really missing McLeod yesterday, man. Do you guys see any particular player? How did Sidney Jones play to you guys? How did obviously Mills? Is this game a defensive? Did the defensive single-handedly lose this game for us? Do you think the defense let us down?
Secondary did. So yes, they're part of the defense. So yes, the defense let us down.
Yeah, they had to. That team only got 170 in the air. They only averaged 170 in the air. They got through for 300 yards.
Right. It was a heartbreaking loss, man. Because I mean, you know, we were up big, and we kind of let them get back into the game overtime, win the toss, go down, have a good drive. We settled for 3.
Touchdown would have ended it.
Right, touchdown ends it.
I was almost afraid that we were going to tie. I don't know if that would have been worse. So thankfully, hey, I hate to admit it, when we lost that game, when he caught that touchdown, I was like, shoot, at least it wasn't a tie.
Right.
I can't help but think that now that they changed the rules and made overtime games shorter, we're going to start seeing more ties.
Yeah,
we
definitely.
almost saw one Sunday.
Definitely.
With our team. Man, I like that one. I hate ties.
Right.
I like neckties.
Right.
I don't like ties in football.
What do you think Jim Schwartz should have blitzed more? Because I feel like maybe he could have blitzed or situational blitzes. How do you feel like that, Mike? You just talked about zone and that particular play where he played zone D. You think Schwartz could blitz more in certain situations?
Yeah, I think that's just. I mean, I don't know if it's the players he has. He doesn't trust it, but at certain times you got to bring the numbers. The front four they weren't getting it. It was obvious. Like even in the fourth quarter, we weren't getting that Mariota. He had a lot of time back there. So you might have to bring extra people and put the pressure on him. And the outcome might have been different, but I would have liked to see let him beat the blitz. He didn't have to beat that often.
Right. Our defense was on the field for a long time in that second half, man. It seemed like we were on the field for a long time. Some of the first half as well.
In that particular case, our offense wasn't helping. Our offense with the drops and getting off the field quick. Our offense wasn't helping. Now, how are you going to have a running back who averages close to 8 yards a carry, only give him the ball 5 times? Smallwood was killing him.
He was.
Ajayi was averaging close to 5 a carry. He was killing him. Why do you give the ball? You got to run the ball, man. I'm old school, man. I remember the days when running backs used to carry the ball over 20 yards a game, over 20 carries a game. I don't see that anymore. But you know what I'm seeing now? I'm seeing quarterbacks throw the ball for darn near 60 passes.
Yeah.
That.
And that puts you.
Tecmo Bowl? We play Madden?
That puts your defense at a disadvantage because they're right back on the field. If the other team has a long drive,
complete passes stop the clock.
Exactly, and it puts your defense right back on the field, man.
Very frustrating.
It was a frustrating loss, man. Tennessee,
run the ball.
Tennessee, I think, is a pretty solid team, man. They're a pretty solid team. That doesn't do anything for me as an Eagles fan, but
I get what you're saying, Chris. We give them respect to them, man, but they shouldn't have beat us.
Yeah, I agree,
that's
man.
That's gonna be one of those losses. That's gonna be one of those losses that we look at the end of the year, like, man, we should have had that one.
Yeah, definitely. That's one of those games that later on in the season you look back and if anything, if you miss the playoffs by a game or something like that, that's one of those games you look back to. You know what I mean? Right now, I think in the NFC, not to get off the Eagles, but in the NFC, obviously the Rams 4-0. After that, you have who definitely look like the real deal. They were talented last year as well, but they look like they really got things together.
Was that a third that game, that Rams game? Was it the Rams and the Chargers where Goff, even his incomplete passes were on the money?
Goff looks like the real deal, man. He looks like the real deal.
I saw those passes. I watched the highlights of that game. I've never seen so many passes that accurate in one game. Like I've seen games where Brett Favre will have one pass where it was pretty, like the receiver's in stride, or it's in a tight space where if it would have been a little to the left, it would have been batted away or something. I've seen something like that. But this Golf dude, they showed in the highlights about 10 of those type of passes. I said, man.
Yeah, he was putting them on. He was putting them on the money, man. That's they look like the real deal. They're 4-0, and a lot of teams really haven't made that much separation in the NFC. You have the Chicago, who looks legit. Khalil Mack makes their whole team better. I mean, even their offense looks better because he's over there. But Khalil Mack and Chicago and New Orleans. Besides that, man, everybody else is 2-2. So I don't know if it's time for us to hit the panic button, but it's definitely
not.
Yeah,
definitely not. But it's time. But it is time to be concerned. It's time for these wide receivers to get back to the basics and start catching the ball with their hands. Make a diamond.
Let me ask you guys one question. Would you say your biggest, if you had to say the biggest concern, would you say our secondary or our receivers? If you had to give our biggest concern.
Secondary.
A lot of holes.
Secondary, right?
Hey, my homeboy Justin Frost. Hey, shout out to Justin, man. Thanks for listening to the show. He said we don't show Ajayi enough love. So I just want to make sure that we give J-Train some serious love because honestly he could have been our star in overtime if the coach didn't just have a brain fart and just stop running the ball. Yeah. Because if you'd have gave J-Train the football about 3 or 4 more times, and once we hit the red zone, we be talking about the Eagles' victory and how the Eagles need to tighten it up, even though we won the game.
Yeah. Well, he's been hurt, so
This
so
makes him so amazing.
yeah, he's been hurt, man. So,
15
but
carries, 70 yards, 4.7.
yeah, definitely.
I would have liked to see 25 carries. He'd probably had like 120 yards with a touchdown, and that would have been a game-winning touchdown.
Maybe he's not 100%. I don't know if he wasn't 100%. Maybe maybe they had a pinch count on the amount of carries. So, those some of the things that we don't know. But I definitely understand your point, Wood. I definitely would like to see more carries out there. So, yeah, man, it was a tough loss, man. It was a heartbreaker, man. What can we do but get prepared for next week, man? So, we got a big game next week, and definitely a disappointing loss, man. So, we got some things we are correct, man. We got some issues we got to rectify, man. Hopefully they get it together, man. Hopefully Doug Peterson, man, and Schwartz got an answer, man. And that secondary is definitely an issue, man. And our wide receivers, man. Jordan Matthews, man. I don't know, man. That touchdown, man. I can appreciate it, man. But I hate when a wide receiver drops a pass, man. It's like the worst thing, man, in an NFL game, man. And he dropped the pass. Not saying that was a difference maker, nothing like that. But still shaky to me is the point I'm trying to make. So
Absolutely, absolutely right, Chris.
Yeah.
It's so frustrating, and you try to put yourself in their shoes. It's like, it's maybe the sun was in his eye, or maybe he saw the defender coming. But then I quickly throw that away, and I say, he's not having trouble paying his cell phone bill.
Nah,
He ain't having trouble. He can go to the Louis Vuitton outlet or whatever and drop like a couple G's or whatever.
Yeah.
So then I stopped feeling sorry for him after that, and then I started getting really mad. Like you got one job.
Catch the ball.
Yeah. You play for a short period of time throughout the year, and of course, if you want to be good, you condition yourself and you work out in the off season and all that. But you got to show up for one day, play hard, and after that, you get to chill a little bit. You go out and just be rich. Go drive around in your Porsche and just love life.
Yeah.
And you drop a ball? Come on, man.
Yeah.
That's like me not showing up to work, like just calling out or something, not showing up, or coming in late and not having an excuse for my boss. You can't do that. You can't drop the ball, man. Especially passes that are directly to you. I can see if you catch the ball and get smashed and the ball pops up. Yeah, that was just a good hit. But you wide open, and the ball hits your hands and it just bounces off your jersey.
Nah, yeah. Jordan Matthews, obviously, he doesn't have the best hands. His biggest attribute is he's got decent speed, streamlined speed, and he's got good size. But his hands are definitely
Roberto Duran. Hands of stone.
Yeah, definitely, man. Yeah, man. Disappointing loss overall, man. So hopefully they get it together, man. We're 2-2 right now. Of course, we haven't played any division games. And before I move on, one last question: do y'all think winning our division is the easiest road to the playoffs, or the most realistic road to the playoffs at this point in the season?
Absolutely. That's why I'm holding out hope. Like, we haven't played a division game yet. I'm not really getting too, uptight about the situation. So yeah,
how you think?
If this was a loss to Washington, New York, or Dallas, I'd be livid.
How you feel, Mike? And Dallas is 2-2, and then but go ahead, Mike. How you feel? What you think is the easiest road to the playoffs for us?
Definitely division. I think the division we got to win it just to be sure, depending on how we come around. If we turn some things around, I remember a couple of times last year, thinking back, reflecting on last year when we had that little slump with our secondary. We had like 2 games, I think, against the Giants, but we won those games.
Mm-hmm.
That's different. So it is, be a little worried. But I think our division isn't as strong. But we all know those games are toss-up. So
right.
I got a good feeling about them in the division. And that'll be our way in.
All right, man. That's the Eagles, man. We 1 quarter through the season, man. 4 games, and we're 2-2, man. Not the worst position to be in, but not the best either, man. 3-1 is so much better than 2-2. I mean, it almost sound like the worlds apart. But we world champions, man, and we gonna dig deep, man, and hopefully, man, put it together, man. So, of course, we not giving up on them. So hopefully they get it together, man. We're going to move on from that, man. And Wood, did you want to talk about our picks? Cause y'all know on Broadstreet 4 for 4, we pick 6 NFL games every week, and we pick our winners, and we go head up with each other right now. So Wood might want to talk about that.
Pick six results. So yeah, but I want to talk about week 4. Apologies, not week 4, week 3, because we need to discuss who did well that week and who's doing well overall.
And let them know where they can follow that. Wood.
Yeah, on Facebook, we'd like you all to participate, and it's an interactive experience. Post us your picks, and we'll announce them on the show and get you involved in this thing, get you involved in the conversation, and shout you out, because we care, and we want y'all to be a part of this thing. Now, let's go back to week 3. That's when the Indianapolis Colts and the Philadelphia Eagles played, along with the Giants at Houston, Packers at Washington, Dallas at Seattle, Chargers at Rams, Steelers at Bucks. So Woodruff went 2-4, Chris went 4-2, Rome went 3-3, Mike went 3-3. So that brings overall, looks like Chris and Mike are holding it down in the top spot, 10-7-1, while James Woodruff is at 9-8-1, and Jerome Dooley at 8-9-1. So that was the end of week 3. Those are the week 3 results. Now, week 4 is technically not over because we're waiting for the Kansas City Chiefs and the Denver Broncos to finish playing. Chris, can you give me an update on that? I think that's playing in the background.
That's 23-20. Broncos are 3 ahead of the Chiefs. There's 1 minute and 54 seconds left in the fourth.
That's looking good for any of us because all 4 of us picked the Kansas City Chiefs.
Which wouldn't affect our leaders, but it would affect the number of wins.
Loves to make that known. Right. He was talking about that before this episode here. That's fine. So I did the numbers, and so let's just talk about that. Going off of week 4, Philly at Tennessee, Cincinnati at Atlanta, Detroit at Dallas, New Orleans at New York Giants, Baltimore at Pittsburgh, Kansas City at Denver. But we're not gonna count that right now. So, not a good week for Woodruff and McCline. That's for sure. Not a good week. We went 1-4. Both of us went 1-4.
1-4. Ouch.
Yeah. Thank you very much, Dallas, for winning. I picked you last week, and you couldn't even. I just want to make it. I'm never ever picking Dallas ever in anything.
I was upset last week I was upset for the record that all my 4 for 4 colleagues want Dallas. I was upset. I'm not.
And I hear you, and that's why I said, you know what, I'm not doing it again. That's why I picked Detroit. And guess what? Let me down. And Detroit almost won that too. It was a shootout. But yeah, so props to Collazo for coming in 3-2. He picked Dallas, New Orleans, and Baltimore. He did his thing on that. Then Rome came in with 2-3 because he picked Dallas and New Orleans. So it's looking pretty good for Chris Collazo right now at 13-9-1. Very impressive, especially considering he was almost in the basement when the season started. So that was impressive. Nice come from behind. Props to you. And Mike McCline is holding it down in second place, 11-11-1. While me and Rome are fighting for that basement spot at 10-12-1. So yeah, it's going to be a struggle, Rome, because I want to keep you down in that basement. Chain you up and feed you nothing but fish eggs.
Hey Wood, don't worry about it. We got a fully furnished basement over here at Broadstreet 4 for 4. It's a TV down there. I don't think the remote got any batteries, but besides that, man, you're good, man.
I gotta get up and change the channel. I gotta get up every time I want to change the channel.
Yeah, it's a long switch from ESPN to NFL Network, but you guys can figure it out, man. You guys can figure it out, man.
I got ready to reach behind the flat screen and find the button, press the button.
Right. All right, fellas, man, that's our pick 6, man. We remind everybody, man, IG, Instagram, Facebook, iTunes, Podbean, follow us, man, especially with our pick 6, man. We always pick 6 games out the NFL, man. We post them on Facebook. We posting this week's picks coming up, so pick y'all picks, and again, like Will said earlier, man, we'll put them on the show, man. Y'all can follow us. This is an interactive thing, man. Broadstreet 4 for 4, man. Follow us on
Broadstreet
Facebook.
4 for 4, pick six.
And that was our pick 6, man. We gonna move it on, man. We got a good topic next, man. This is our top 5 pass rushes of all time, man. It's a good topic, man. Good topic. Top 5 pass rushes of all time. NFL pass rushes, and we're not just going by stats and sacks and things like that. We're going by pass rushes, man. So we're gonna jump in right now, man. Top 5 pass rushes, man. Money Mike, Double M, Money Mike McCline, man. Tell me who you got, man. Top 5 pass rushes of all time, man.
All right, I got go with my top 5. I got in no specific order, but I always give love to the late Reggie Wright. Reggie White, Green Bay, Carolina. Got Bruce Smith. Got Joe Green.
Good pick, Joe Green.
Deacon Jones.
Mike kept it old school. I like that.
Yeah. It's almost like I feel like he's one of those you got to put in there though.
Yeah.
From watching all the old highlights and people talking about him, Deacon Jones. It's like that's like making the top 5 NBA players and not putting Bill Russell in there.
Yeah, but that's only my 4. So I got my 5, and I'm gonna go with somebody that's young right now, but I think he's going in the end they're gonna love him and put him up there with everybody else. I'm gonna go with Von Miller. I like Von Miller.
Von Miller.
He's been top up there since he came into the league. He won a Super Bowl by himself.
Wow.
When the Broncos won that Super Bowl, putting Cam on his back. So
against Carolina.
That's I got him. He's the 5th out of the 4. I was the lowest, but I think in the end, when it's all said and done,
that is an interesting pick. I'm not trying to dish your picking on, but
everybody's entitled to their opinion.
Yeah, I hear you, but man, that opinion that's a terrible choice. Von Miller.
Yeah, I like Von.
Okay. Well, guess what? You ready? Who's ready for my top 5? That's what I'm gonna know. Is it my turn yet?
Yeah, you got it.
All right. So hold on. So looks like our host stepped away for a second. So listen, hold up. So this is who I got, Mike. I like what you said, no particular order, because I don't like doing worst to best. So I got Deacon Jones on there. Okay. That's for me looking at highlights on YouTube and NFL Network, and I've just seen how great he is, and hearing the great players that I've seen grown up talk about their idols, and it was always Deacon Jones. I got Bruce Smith, Buffalo Bills, Michael Strahan, and Lawrence Taylor, 2 New York Giants. I never thought I'd put one of our division rivalries up in my top 5, but you got respect. You got to give respect where respect is due. Lawrence Taylor and Michael Strahan
was a linebacker. What?
Well, we pass rushers. We didn't specify defensive ends. We said pass rushers.
I went to lineman, so I should have.
I noticed that. I did observe that. But I said everyone's entitled to their own opinion, just like you said. And finally, my number 1 is the Reverend Reggie White, the greatest of all time. I think it was he's one of the individuals that got me really, really looking at players in a different light. Like, players can be inspirational and be positive. And he was very religious. I remember they were praying. They had a big thing at the Veterans Stadium when Jerome Brown died, and I remember he kind of held church in the vet. Do y'all remember that, or was it am I just imagining that?
I don't know.
I thought it was something like that. He did something like that where all the Eagles came to the vet, and people came to show their love because it was a tragic death. When Jerome Brown died,
Definitely,
car accident and all that. It was sudden, and I just remember him holding court, in the center of Veterans Stadium, and just I thought he was praying. I could be wrong, but I feel like I'm right. I could probably look it up. So, but yeah, Reggie White's my number 1. Chris, you stepped away for a little bit, so we kind of took over. Me and Mike kind of took over the show a little bit.
That's what we do, baby.
I don't know if you heard one of Mike's choices. Did you know he said Von Miller?
I heard him. I was here for the Von Miller. I was Von Miller, a dominant player, man. I think when it's all said and done, he'll be up. I think he'll be up there in sacks. Anyway, yeah, Von Miller's still playing. He you know.
That's how much I know.
Yeah, he'll definitely be up there, sacks leaders, and he's been a dominant player since he's been in the league.
Got your top five, Chris, or that's why you stepped away to go get your top five?
No, I got my top five. I'm gonna go top five, man. I guess I'll go 5 through 1, man. And 5, man, I'm going Lawrence Taylor, man. He was a linebacker, man, but Lawrence Taylor revolutionized the game, man. I seen so many highlights, man, where especially Bill Walsh, because San Fran was good at that time, and the Giants were going at it, man. I mean, they would literally just be at the chalk bar, and he would just have 56. Everything was 56, 56, 56, 56, 56. I mean, you couldn't put a running back on him. You had to do something different, man. This guy was an animal, man. But probably I know he's in our division, but I didn't look at LT look like that. I look like he's one of the top 3 greatest players of all time, man, NFL period. But I got Lawrence Taylor at number 5. Number 4, man, his career was cut short, man. It's unfortunate. Derek Thomas, you already know, man.
Yeah, you love Derek Thomas.
Derek Thomas was a bad boy, man, and obviously that was an unfortunate situation. So our condolences to his family and that whole situation. But if his career wasn't cut short, man, this guy would be right there, top guys, man. I got Kevin Green, man, at number 3. That's my number 3 spot. Kevin Green, man. Just get to the quarterback, man. He would get there, man. Pittsburgh Steelers, man. Great player, man. Kevin Green.
I thought Von Miller was a bad choice.
Yeah, Kevin Green, man. He's got 160 sacks, man. He's 3rd all time on the sack list, man. So, I got Bruce Smith at number 2. I think he's I think he's all time. I think he eclipsed Reggie White for the all time, maybe by 1 or 2 sacks or something like that, I believe. But he's the all time leader. But number 1, man, I got the Reverend, man, Reggie White, man. I think when it comes to speed, power, I mean, this guy was athletic, man. When you look at them Buddy Ryan defenses, man, Eagle defenses, 91, man, this guy was unbelievable, man. Fast, strong. He made a lot of plays that you didn't see linemen make, man. So I got Reggie White at my number 1, man. That's my top 5 pass rushers, man. A lot of honorable mentions too, guys like DeMarcus Ware and Julius Peppers, who's still playing. But yeah, that's my top 5, man. And Deacon Jones, guys like that, man. But yeah, that's my top 5. Hey, Mike, you just thought lineman, Mike, man. If you got somebody else you want to say, man, you want to rearrange it, man, because you might have misunderstood, man. We was just doing top 5 pass rushes, man.
No, that's all good. I'll stick with mine. They still up there. Those guys are good.
Yeah, no doubt, man. That's our top 5 pass rushes, man. If y'all agree with us, man, or y'all disagree, man, again, man, Facebook, type in who y'all think, man, should be number 1. Give us your top 5, man. That's our top 5 pass rushers of all time, man. So if you agree or disagree, man, let us know about it, man. Again, Instagram, Facebook, Podbeam, iTunes, man. Follow us, leave your comments, suggestions, so forth and so on, man. We'll get y'all on the show, man. We remind everybody this is Broadstreet 4 for 4. We missing one of our colleagues, but we still doing what we do, man. So what we want to talk about next, fellas? We going I guess we'll move on, man, to the NBA, man. The NBA season is upon us, man. Y'all ready for the NBA?
Oh man, can't wait. Can't believe it's so close.
It's
They're playing preseason games now. That's exciting.
Yeah, I believe the Sixers have 2 preseason games under their belt. They played tonight. McCline, you know the score of the game tonight, or you wasn't able to catch it?
I got the score. I seen the game. It was Sixers won by 6, but the score, we were up like 25, and none of our starting 7 players played in the fourth quarter.
In the fourth quarter, okay, so that means we dominated, man, and things are looking up, man. Obviously, the Sixers got a bright future, man, ahead of us, man. We got a lot of good young talent, and and obviously things are looking bright for the 76ers, man. I want to ask Mike McCline, man, right now, how does he feel, particularly the Sixers is shaking things up right now with a new lineup. We had one of the premier lineups last year, and this year we're kind of shaking things up. It's still the preseason, so we haven't actually gotten into the season, but they're trying new things. Obviously, Markel Fultz and things like that. So, Mike, tell us how you feel about how they're shaking things up as far as the lineup, and why do you think they may be shaking things up or trying a new lineup?
Yeah, I mean, it's a big change being that the team last year, our starting five was Simmons, Redick, Covington, Sarkin, and Embiid. They had an offensive, they're the number one efficient team in the NBA. Their plus minus was plus 268. The next closest team with the starting five was plus 162, and that was OKC with Westbrook, Roberson, George, Anthony, and Adams. So to go from a lineup when you return all five of those players and then go put the number one pick that was injured last year in the starting lineup, some people might question that move. I think it was made, one for confidence, and also we lost a couple of players to free agency. They got paid because of their success with the Sixers. Bellinelli with the Spurs and Ilyasova. We lost both of those guys to free agency. So moving Redick to the bench, he was our second leading scorer with 17 points a game.
Right.
I think it gives our second team some punch, being that Bosa start.
What?
Simmons, with those guys on the floor, I saw both of the first two games. It's like whatever one gets it brings it up. But Bolts is initiating the offense in the half court, and Ben's going down to power forward if he doesn't get anything in the secondary break. So by moving our guy Redick to the bench, we got a 17 points a night guy. He comes in with 7 minutes and he finishes out the quarter. He just doesn't start any one of the quarters that he's played so far. So he's still getting starter minutes.
Right. Redick is our sixth man.
Redick and Amir Johnson, and then they pull at 7. They pull Fultz and they pull Embiid, and then they put him back in at 3. But it depends on how Redick's playing. If Redick's playing well, they'll leave him in and let Fultz. Fultz will come in at that time for Simmons. So it works out. It's a good rotation. I like it a lot.
Good stuff. Explain to everybody listening, to our listeners right now, what you meant as far as confidence and Fultz, as far as confidence and putting them in the starting lineup. Obviously, we know he had some issues last year, and he's been working out this summer. So explain to everybody what you meant by that.
Yeah, I think the NBA is going to get ready to see Starkel Fultz. It's not Markel, it's Starkel.
Starkel.
He gets where he wants on that floor. He moves around. He gets to the rim. He creates.
I saw that corner 3. They posted on Instagram. I saw that corner 3. That thing looked nice.
It was wet. I mean, he made about 6 jumpers tonight. Pull-ups. They're getting them open, coming off of that Ginobili curl on the offense. And it pushes. You have 2, guards now are combo guards. So it kind of makes us even deadlier in the fast break, because if Fultz gets a rebound or Simmons, they just go. Right. Go to lane. So it's looking pretty good.
McCline, who do we play that first preseason game? Because I saw, I can't remember. That's not really important. But from Fultz, man, I saw a lot of things, man. I seen him drive to the rack. I seen spin moves. I seen jumpers. He pretty much looked like he could do everything on the court, man. I know it's just preseason, but he looked good in that first game.
Yeah, he can. He displayed what he did in Washington and what he did at the Mather down in PG County down there in Maryland. All-American, number 1 pick, 1-2 gold medals with Team USA. He played with all those guys. Those guys were secondary to him in college and then on those teams. And he can score at 3 levels in the paint, in the mid-range, and the 3-ball. So playing next is kind of like with Chris Paul and Harden. Everybody would know that they coexist. But the way the game is played now in these speedy possessions, there's enough shots to go around. And now Ben Simmons, the other good thing it does, it allows Ben Simmons to get the ball closer to the rim. So he didn't even attempt jump shots tonight. He scored off of post-ups. A lot of times when Fultz initiated the offense on the left side of the court, he to the opposite side. So Ben was really a point forward at that point.
Mm-hmm.
He ran the offense from the point. And Joel and everybody dove, high-low action. You got backside screens. Yeah, it's looking good. And I think they're smart enough to know how to do it and coexist.
Right. How do you feel about Embiid? I saw some of the game tonight. I think Embiid by far is the most dominant player, big man, I should say, in the Eastern Conference. Sometimes it seems like he's on the perimeter a little bit more than I would like.
He was all down low. He shot a couple. He might have been 1 for 3. They let him shoot it, but over the summer, and what the coaches said, he did a concerted effort. He watched all the series. He said he watched every game, and he knows he can go down low. He shot. In 22 minutes, Embiid played 23 minutes, had 21 points, and he shot 8 free throws.
Okay.
So it was and he played 22 minutes. So if you do the per 36, you're talking 36 and 12.
Right.
You know?
Right.
So it's like 6 shots.
Solid numbers.
So, he's making a concerted effort. A lot of layups. There was a lot of layups tonight.
Right. So we expect big things from the Sixers this year, man. And we got a good young core, man. A head coach. I expect the Sixers to do well this year.
I do too. You know who doesn't expect them to do well? Tristan Thompson feels as though that he still goes through Cleveland. I don't think he remembers what transpired in the offseason. For some reason, I think he still thinks that they are the upper echelon Eastern Conference cream of the crop squad that you got to go through. So somebody, you all saw the response from wasn't it the brother Marcus and Ben Simmons came in and said something like,
yeah.
He's like, keep dreaming, pal. Like, you're gonna be sitting watching the playoffs like the rest of us.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know what on earth would make him make a statement like that. I really don't. When all things considering, we don't even have to speak about it. But he's not that great of a player anyway. He's soft to me. Like
I think he had a weekend. That was a Monday morning being in LA with Chloe.
Right.
Partying with Louie and them girls on the beach.
Yeah. He needs to look at his thing realistically. Like, maybe he's trying to motivate. Maybe he's trying to motivate his teammates.
He got those Sixers number 4 in the power rankings right now. The NBA power rankings, they got us 4 overall.
Oh, that's exciting.
So it's exciting. We're looking good. Barring injuries. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, that's okay. The key, right? You hit the nail right on the head on that, Mike. So injuries, man. That's the only thing I get scared about, especially with the Sixers these last several years.
Yeah, we young, man. I'm not worried about injuries, man. I think we're gonna be all right. Obviously, Embiid has had some histories, but I think we'll be all right, man. It's exciting, man. The season is close, man, and we'll get more in depth with the 76ers, especially when the regular season approaches. So we'll get into that. We'll get into the Sixers in depth. We gonna start to wrap this thing up, man. Any last second thoughts, man, about anything, man? Anything around sports, the NFL? Go ahead.
Man, I got something I want to say, man. I was holding it, and I just wanted to kind of share a little quick story. And I want to first say rest in peace to Tommy McDonald and Wes Hopkins. We lost 2 Eagles legends, and let me be more specific. Tommy McDonald is an NFL legend. That brother made the Hall of Fame. And, I worked at Citizens Bank Park, right? And one of our things we did, like I was on the leadership team, and we oversaw non-baseball events. And some of those non-baseball events were Eagles tailgates. So basically, the Diamond Club was this real fancy place that you go eat behind home plate, but then when the Phillies aren't playing there, people would just rent out that space. And the Eagles did it, and the Eagles would have one Eagle come and sign autographs every Sunday, every Eagles home game. And right before the game would start, he would come over and sign autographs for the entire event. And Tommy McDonald was there on several occasions. And I didn't know who Tommy McDonald was. I just saw he was an older player. Put two and two together. He's an older player. He must have played way back in the day. And then I remember a coworker was telling me, he said, "Oh man, it's Tommy McDonald. Like, he's a Hall of Famer, like wide receiver. He was amazing." And I said, "Wow, really?" So I walked up to him when nobody was around him. Just started talking to him. I just said, "Yeah." I was like, "Man, it's a pleasure to meet you." I got him the autograph for one of the pictures he gave to me. Just really one of the nicest men you meet. And again, I worked these non-baseball events for about 4 years. So I've seen a lot of Eagles players come and go, like Fred Barnett, Hugh Douglas came through. A few other players. I can't kind of slip my mind a little bit, but some of the other players that weren't like really stars, but were on the team. But they came through and signed autographs. And I just remember Tommy McDonald standing out, being one of the most nicest, funniest individuals that he just tell you stories like, man, I didn't know what I was doing half the time when I was out there. I was just I saw the ball in the air, I just wanted to go up and catch it. Like just so you imagine like a whole head talking to you and just making you laugh. And I had several conversations with him, and I was really sad when he died. Because I remember talking to him and how he touched my life. The little bit of time that I talked to him, he was just a really positive dude. So he died September 24th at 84 years old. Hall of Famer, Eagles Hall of Famer, 75th anniversary team member, and a 6-time Pro Bowler. I mean, Tommy McDonald was an amazing dude. And not just from a statistic standpoint, but from a personal standpoint. Now, I want to segue that into Wes Hopkins. He died at 57, which is concerning because I feel like that's young. We're getting up there. So, and I'm watching Seth Joyner talk about him on Eagles post game. You can see he was really sad. He said this was his 4th teammate that he lost, and he really hurt him. And it seemed like it shouldn't have happened. I guess I don't know what he died of. I didn't really look into that part, but I just look at the age, 57. I feel like that's still young.
Yeah, definitely.
He was on the Pro Bowl 1985. Amazing player, Gang Green, Eagles defense, safety. When I think of the Gang Green Eagle defense, he's one of the first names that pop in my mind after like Reggie White, Jerome Brown. Then I start thinking of Eric Allen, Wes Hopkins, Seth Joyner. You know what I'm saying? And so it was really, really sad that he passed away. But I just want to make sure I give a special shout out to them. Brothers, they really touched my heart.
Well said, Wood, and we want to give our condolences to the families of those two legendary players. So, well said, Wood. Definitely. So,
he died September 28th, West Hopkins.
Right. McCline, you got anything you want to say to wrap this thing up, man? Or
I just want to say, RIP to the 2018. 17-18 Phillies. It's over. It's all over for those guys. They put up a good season for us. It's time to move on with the game, with our manager, to see what we're going to do. We got some big people on the free agency that's looking at coming to fool with us. There's reports out saying that the only thing that may stop some free agents from coming here is our manager and his quirky ways. So we'll see.
Right.
We can talk about from time to time.
Hey, Mike, Chris, didn't the Phillies make history like being above 15 games, like that above 500 by 15 games, only to lose and be below 500 by the end of the season? That's a record that you do not want to have,
Yeah, definitely. Do you think those guys overachieved early in the year, or was it a matter of maybe they kind of hit the wall towards the end of the year once they realized they were out of it, or I don't know, because they had a major drop off.
Ron said earlier in a few episodes back where you felt like they overachieved. But I feel like it could be a little bit of both, because baseball season is arduous.
Definitely.
You know what I'm saying? It is grueling. And I think it could be both. I don't see why it can't be.
Right. Yeah. Mike said it well, man. R.I.P. man. It's over, man. It's officially over, man. And we'll see what happens, man. It'll be interesting to see what happens, and a new manager.
Hey, I still got one more thing.
Go ahead, get down, Mike.
At birth, we going, it's a cycle of life. So we haven't talked about it much. Just give a little love to the brothers on skates, The Flyers, the Ghosts, we're in the preseason as well. They're 3-3. They're going through a big upheaval as well. So we'll just keep, 4 for 4. Talk about all our professional sports and just,
Definitely.
We always keep them in the back of our minds just to give them a little love real quick.
Definitely. That's good stuff, Flyers. And it is the preseason. We'll keep y'all abreast once the regular season starts, man. So that's good stuff, McCline. Way to be on point, man. So I think we could put a bow on this one right here, fellas, man. Y'all agree?
Yeah, man.
All right, good stuff, man. Good stuff. We definitely miss our man JD Jerome Dooley. We'll catch him next show. But on behalf of myself, 2M's Money Mike McCline, my man James Woodruff, Woody Wood, Hollywood. It's another show, man. Broadstreet 4 for 4, man. Remind y'all, man, follow us Instagram, iTunes, Podbean, Facebook, so forth and so on, man. Any social media platform you can pretty much follow us, man. So hope y'all enjoyed the show. Until next time, man, we're gonna keep doing what we do, man. And everybody remember, man, don't raise your voice.
Improve your argument.
Ain't no question, man.
Improve your argument.
Y'all heard that, man. Y'all heard it here, man. Broadstreet 4 for 4, the #1 podcast in Philly, man. We signing off. Peace.